Hello, this is Malorian, and now this will be a 35-point game of my eMagnus up against Kreoss. Alright, so after we were done playing the fantasy game, we thought we'd get in a War Machine game because, I'm still doing this epic tale of eMagnus. And so this is now 35 points, so I had to kind of jumble things around. This is going to be a Tier 2 Magnus agenda, and what it really has is a mini-unit of the Kreoss Cutthroats. I have Orin Midwinter, a Mangler, of course eMagnus. I'm trying out Gorman, a max unit of Long Gunners, and then a max unit of the Idrians with the UA. So kind of a mix of different stuff. This is the first time I'll be using these two solos, so we'll see how those do. The game we're doing is called Destruction, so you need to destroy your opponent's objective, then it'll hop over to the other side, you have to destroy it again, and then you'll win. And then for my opponent, he's running, wow, just a lot of jacks. I actually had to go and re-add up his points 2 times because it just seemed wrong. So really what he has is he has Kreoss, he has 2 Crusaders, 2 Vanquishers, and then 2 Repenters. And in the back he has a max unit of the choir and also a mechanic. So I mean 6 jacks and 35 points, that's quite a bit. And he has of course a choir member for every single one. And so the thing here is that I don't have a lot of hard punching. I mean, sure, I have the Mangler that's bonded and can get 4 fury and all, or 4 focus and all this stuff, but man, I just can't take on that many jacks. I have a lot of shooting that can't really shoot anything, and as long as his choir is saying no shoot, so I'm going to have to try and get around and kill those guys, but in the meantime, he could just be storming my objectives and winning the game. So I'm going to try and do that. We're going to have to see what happens. Right now the prey target for my Idrians is the right Vanquisher, but yeah, I'm pretty scared about how this game's going to go right now. And here's just kind of a close-up of his army, just so you can see how everything was kind of deployed. He forgot his infantry at home, so he's using some of my little models there to be his mechanics, and well, his mechanic and his choir. But yeah, like I said, that's a lot of jacks. So he has first turn, he puts a focus in every jack, and it's pretty much just moving up. And even then, I'm pretty sure he didn't run up, so because he didn't seem to be that far up. Maybe he did, but yeah, he's pretty much just holding the line. And something that was interesting here is that it almost looks like he's going defensive, because he's not really heading towards my objective. It looks like he's going to go and circle his own. My turn 1, and I'm not sure if I made a mistake here, it doesn't really matter, but basically I am rushing up the flanks, kind of moving up the center. Orin Midwinter right now is just doing the stealth thing just in case. Gorman throwing down some smoke. But the big thing I'm not really sure about is that I put on mobility and bullet dodger at the same time. The one thing I'm not really sure about is that since they're both on eMagnus, I'm not sure if you can only have one spell on yourself or only one upkeep on a model. So if somebody out there knows for sure, just please let me know. So then his turn, he kind of just shares out the focus a little bit again. He has 1 Crusader that's rushing over to kind of make sure my Crow Cutthroats can't really do too much without getting engaged. And then otherwise he did a little bit of shooting, but not really anything, and really all he really managed to do was a couple of points of damage to the Mangler. My turn 2, and I can't shoot his jacks, so what I decided to do is I just need to try and kill off some of that choir this turn. So the Cutthroats kind of move away, combine into his objective, and do 3 damage so far. Midwinter goes and he does one of his lightning attacks to one of the jacks. I luckily get 3 bounces off of that, so it basically hits the 2 left jacks and then 2 of the choir, so it does 1 damage to a Repenter, and then kills 2 of the choir behind, so that's pretty cool. I move up the long gunners, and now I don't want them to take a vanquisher shot and lose a whole bunch, so what I'm actually doing is just camping all of my focus and trying to actually kind of bait him a little bit with eMagnus, just because I know I can take a direct shot and take only a little bit of damage. And then otherwise, Idrian's moved on the right. I was only able to get off one guy to try and shoot one choir and missed. His turn 3, he had the 1-jack charge or in Midwinter, and he died pretty horribly. The Crusader is running back over, and then otherwise he's just really trying to keep up this defensive line. I think it's this turn. He went in and he actually went for the extra damage this turn, and he tried doing some shooting into the Mangler, but nothing too much happened there. I think as well he went and did a shot over at my Idrians, and it just kind of scattered and killed a couple. Alright, so my turn 3, and this is where I think I really have the time to really do a pretty powerful attack. So what I do is I have the Cutthroats move over, they combine into the one Repenter and do a good amount of damage. The Long Gunners go and they're able to double tap into a Crusader. 2 of them were out of range, but they did a fair amount of damage there. After they were done shooting, the Mangler, which was full up with 4 focus, went up, did the Thresher and did a hit on each one of those 3 jacks there, then was able to scrap the Crusader and do some more damage to the Vanquisher. I had the Idrians come over and they did a combined shot into the Vanquisher on the right, did quite a bit of damage to it, and then I had Magnus go and charge into the Repenter. Rolled really well, and between his armor pierce attack and his regular attack, without boosting anything other than the charge, I was able to destroy it. I then popped my feet so he can't go towards either of our deployment boards, so that's going to lock him in place and mean that the left Vanquisher can't shoot, and he's really locked in and stuck for where he can be. The last thing I wanted to do was move over Gorman to go and black oil his other Vanquisher on the right, but unfortunately I missed and it kind of deviated off to nowhere. His turn 4 then, and I think it was actually this turn that the Vanquisher on the right decided to shoot the Idrians and killed 3 of them then. But otherwise, yeah, he really doesn't get too much done. He really is stuck where he is. He moves over Kreoss, tries to do a little bit of magic to eMagnus, but there really is very little he can do, and so it's pretty much just passing over the turn and him just saying no shooty again on his jacks. My side 4 then, and I had the opportunity here to go for assassination, but I decided instead just to go for more attrition. I threw 4 focus onto my Mangler again, basically just moved him up 2 inches, just going into that wrecked jack there, did my Thresher attack, and that was great because did a whole bunch of damage, killed off 2 of the choir, killed off the mechanic, and then between that and bot attacks, destroyed the Vanquisher, and then also really messed up the Repenter on the other side. He's almost, his weapon's destroyed, he's basically pretty useless. The Idrians are just running behind, and they pop their little mini feet, so I have cover and camouflage, so super high defense. The Cutthroats come over, and they go and they combine fire through Crow and shoot Kreoss to do 4 damage, I think it was, and as well he can't cast any spells next turn. And then otherwise Gorman went and did the black oil onto the right Vanquisher, so this time it actually can't shoot, and the Long Gunners came over and did a big shot for those who are actually in range into the Crusader and did some damage to him. And for Magnus, he's just basically moving back at this point to stay safe. His turn 5 then, at this point he just kind of realizes that he's pretty much screwed, and so he's just going to kind of go for it, because next turn I'm either going to easily have an easy caster kill or just kill off almost the rest of his stuff. So what he does is the Kreoss comes in, he keeps all his focus, he pops his feet, knocks down my entire force, and then just starts wailing onto my jack there, the Mangler. In the end, he knocks out everything except for, I think it was 4 boxes, which had my, my right weapon, the big mace, and my Cortex, so exactly what I needed to have left. So that's pretty bad for him. I also tried doing some stuff to the Magnus, but really what it was his Repenter trying to get out of combat, took a free strike, got destroyed. his Vanquisher, it's blinded, so there wasn't really much it could do, but it's basically just walking around. And then he had a Crusader come in and kill a couple of the Cutthroats. But yeah, I mean, now I have kind of the option of whether I want to kill Kreoss with shooting by backing out my Jack or just pounding him in the face. And in the end, it just takes 2 boosted to hit attacks, and then Kreoss is down. So victory to my eMagnus, and really one of the neat things I thought it was about this game is that I'm actually starting to get pretty good at the Menoth matchups. Maybe it's something where I'm playing against Menoth players that are still getting used to the army and they're not being as aggressive as some other armies are, but I'm finding that I'm doing fairly well at being able to go around the flanks, kill the support staff, or enough that then I can start picking off the jacks and then going from there. Pretty much I just need to go and try and make sure whatever the scenario is, I'm doing what I need to lock it down to make sure he doesn't win by scenario, and then just kind of going for the long attrition. So I like that I think that I'm improving in my skill level, and that I think I'm also getting a little bit better with eMagnus as well. But yeah, it was a fun game. I don't know if the Orin Midwinter thing worked out so well. I mean, sure, he got to kill off a few choirs so I could start picking on some jacks, but right away after that, the Mangler went in and killed off some jacks anyway, so that he had enough choir to jacks. Definitely Gorman, he was interesting this game, and I'm pretty sure I'll be using him again. So there you go, and thanks for watching. Bye.